Hi, welcome, hi, hello. Should I do a new take or keep it in? Was it a mistake or an opportunity? I guess it was an opportunity because today we are talking about mistakes and that you should treasure them, learn from them, and really have fun with them.
And I think I've learnt more by doing than anything I was taught in art school, because you make mistakes all the time. If you're human, and I'm human, so I make them. But the problem is then solving them, and that's fun, and it's enjoyable. And if you haven't got an answer, you've got to find it. And I think that's a wonderful thing, because you invent things and you discover things.
Yesterday, this is how this video came to be. I was looking for some nice ASMR content before I was gonna go to sleep. And I found like a channel that posted like the best unintentional ASMR ever. And I'm gonna link the video in the description down below because my god, please listen to this man. And there was a Welsh stone carver. And just by saying that, maybe you have an image in your mind already. Maybe you've seen the video already, right? But this man had so much wisdom in that video. I cannot repeat all of it, right? Okay, so please just go and watch that video itself. But he does share like an opinion that I myself share as well. And that is, you should not be afraid to make mistakes. In fact, you should be happy to make mistakes and run right at them. Because let me ask you, if you never make any mistakes, right? If you never make any mistakes, how are you ever gonna learn how to do it the right way, okay? There's a reason that learning by doing is such a big thing, okay? You can learn all about theory that you want. But in the end, you will kind of still have to fumble through it, kind of have to do it. And even if you had like the best education in the world, okay, it's still, whatever job you do takes a certain amount of time to do that job, kind of like wibbly wobbly before you have like real confidence in doing that, okay? And that is not just for jobs, that is for anything in life, okay? Let's say you wanted to learn a new hobby and maybe you wanted to learn to draw. And the first like 50 drawings would probably look like ass, let's be honest, okay? And no, I'm not shitting on your art. I know because I tried, okay? They're gonna look bad, at least compared to like conventional good looking art, okay? But still treasure them. But like painting 51, maybe you will notice that it looks like way better than painting 1. And 52 will look better than 51, and so on, and so on, and so on. It's like tiny, tiny building blocks that you will have to build on. And that goes for any hobby and any situation in life, okay? And since I like to yap about gender stuff and stuff like that a lot, okay? If you never, okay, try out something, okay? Maybe you want to wear certain pieces of clothing. Maybe you want to like try makeup, try some nail polish, try like a new hairstyle. How will you ever know if you like it or if you don't, or if it fits you or if it doesn't, or how to learn it or how to do it if you never try? Trying is so important. Trying new things is so important. I've said multiple times before, and I stand behind this. If someone would pay me to go like to school and learn new things for the rest of my life, I would, okay? I would. Because I love learning new things. Doesn't matter if it's like learning a new game, learning a new hobby, learning how to edit something, how to do something graphically, how to program something. To be fair, I haven't programmed since like 7th grade, okay? But like new things every single day, okay? Try to learn new things. That is how your brain works, okay? It wants to learn new things and it wants to make mistakes. If you never allow yourself to make mistakes, you never have the room to improve, okay? That is just a fact. That is just a fact. If you are afraid to make any mistakes at all, you will never create a masterpiece, okay? Because every single masterpiece out there has so many mistakes hidden behind it. And learning about these mistakes is like what makes the masterpiece so good. Like if you showed me like a real cool looking painting, for example, okay? We're going back to paintings if you haven't noticed. And just by seeing it, I can go like, yeah, that's a nice painting, but without like any of the backstory, how maybe the artist struggled and this one actually took like 3,000 hours of work and there's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of paintings before and you can see how this person got better and better and better. Yes, yes. And now I'm gonna do something weird. We're gonna talk about isekai anime for a bit and why most of them are like not very good. In, for example, many isekai stories, in case you didn't know, isekai anime is basically the protagonist, mostly a teenage boy, gets transported to another world for one reason or another and gets like some amazing, overpowered cheat ability from a god or a goddess, okay? And most of the time in these anime, they are unbeatable. They are so strong, and it's kind of like fun watching if you want to turn your brain off, okay? Just some action. But there is not really any deserved power in there, okay? There is no real building up to the action. There's no real building up to what the character earns. In some, there is a little bit, but it's not like long-running series. For example, let's talk about Dragon Ball, okay? Yes, Son Goku, for example, is overpowered as well. And you kind of know that every single battle Son Goku goes into, he wins. But throughout the series, you see how he trains like all the freaking time. He loses, he even freaking dies, okay? And comes back, gets stronger, never gives up. And there are stories, of course, that do it like way better, okay? There are many, many stories out there where you have like the gradual improvement of characters and how they get better and learn more. And this is basically the story concept that we have in the West of the hero's journey, okay? A lot of stories follow that if you haven't heard of that concept before. For example, one book I had to read in school and we even watched a play about it was Chick from... Who was the author? I don't know. I'm going to put it on screen. I've read that book when I was like 14, 15 and it stuck with me. I really like the story. It's about like two teenage friends, one who has to like stay at home during the like long school vacation, during the summer vacation. And then he meets like another guy who's like new in town, I think. It's been so long, honestly, right? And they go through like this whole journey. And you can see both of these characters like improving in their personality and in what they're capable of doing during like whole story. And that is your life. Let's be honest. That is your life, okay? If you look back to what you were capable of like 3, 4, 5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, depending on like how old you are, right? You can probably look back and see that hopefully you're in a better place now. You have more skills, you learned more, tried new things, decided on what you like and what you don't like. For some personal stuff now, okay? Like I really, really struggled to see what I wanted to do after school. Like when I was really tiny, I was like, I want to be a firefighter, okay? I liked that, it was kind of cool, but then like later I realized that like way too scary, I don't want to do it. Then like in 7th grade, I had a teacher who was really, really good at teaching like computer stuffs, and we had computer science, IT in Germany. And then I like really got into computers, and that also was in 7th grade when I got a computer at home, and I really wanted to do that. But then during like 9th and 10th grade, it was my own fault. I kind of got like too lazy. And in the end, my like grades were not good enough to get like into the next school that I needed to get like the science, not the science thing, the computer science thing, right? So I did go into a similar field. At least I was told by other people that it's similar. My God, it was not. It was physics assistants, like assistant for laboratory for like physics stuff, okay? Let me tell you, that's not me. That's not me. The schooling would have been for 3 years. I had to like abandon it after 1 year because I realized 1, I don't understand anything. 2, that's not something I want to do for the rest of my life. Then I actually found pretty quickly after that the opportunity to learn to become a kindergarten teacher, which at that time, they changed it like all the time in Germany, how you get that education. But at the time, it was like you had to do like 1 year of like basically preschool thing, where 4 days a week you would work in a kindergarten and 1 day a week you would go to school. I did that for 1 year. And then 2 years of schools with like 2 phases where you work in a kindergarten again. So technically I did that for 3 years. And then I also got like my degree for like social work in that. But like during these 3 years, I did realize that, yes, I do like doing that. I can imagine myself doing that for like a little bit. But imagining myself having like this group of kids that you learn, that you get to learn when they're like 3. And by the time they're like 6, you basically say goodbye to them and never see them again. That was like too much emotional trauma. Like really, okay? I didn't want to do that. So I was like, shit. You've just spent 4 years of your life going after 2 degrees, One you didn't finish, one you did, but you don't want to work in that. What the hell do you do now? And then kinda the bad times hit, okay? The bad times. A lot of bad things like happened at once. There was bouts of depression and I didn't have any work and like I was very addicted to League of Legends. We don't talk about these times, okay? And that went on for like probably 2 or 3 years. I'm probably gonna make a separate video about like that time period at some point in my life, okay? That went on. And then I had the opportunity to go like to like a thing where potential employers like showcase like all kinds of jobs that they still had like spots open. And that's when I learned about my current job, which I didn't even know existed at that point. Like obviously I knew like people would work in like archives and like in the library and stuff, but I didn't know the like specific term about what the job was called. And no, it's not librarian, okay? I'm not a librarian. That's the easiest way to explain to people in English because the actual job description is like 3 or 4 words long and it doesn't make any sense, okay? Even in Germany, they like abbreviate it to 4 letters. So yeah, I did that. That school thing took 3 years. And in those 3 years, my God, let me tell you, I was, let me think. How old was I? We go back 5 years. I was it must have been like 24 or 25 when I started that, okay? So even though I was like already mid-20s, in those like 3 years with those people that worked there, they helped me so much. Believe me, they helped me so much. I learned so much about myself, so much about what I want to do, that this is what I want to do. And man, after those 3 years, I actually finally felt like an adult. Okay? It was like 27 now and finally felt like an adult. Isn't that crazy? That is crazy because I was allowed to make mistakes. And then basically after that, I continued like helping them out a little bit after my education was already done. And then like 2 months later, I started working at the library I work at now and have been working there for like almost 5. Actually, I have been working there for 5 years now. Yeah, Jesus. February 2025 is my 5-year anniversary. That's crazy, okay? That's crazy that 5 years have already passed. And I have always said that I'm like a person who can never do the same job for like 40 years and then retire. And I still believe that. That is kind of why after like 3 years, I've started to go down to a 4-day week, right? And started to look into doing other stuff. And I looked into a few other stuff and at some point found VTubing. That's how this whole thing started. And now I'm at the point where I work 3 days a week and then have 2 days a week basically to do content and talk with you people, yeah? Okay, so let's like go back a little bit to the beginning point. You are allowed, encouraged to make mistakes. And if nobody has ever told you this in your entire life before, I give you permission to fail. I give you permission to make mistakes. I give you permission to say, I don't know how to do this. You can't say no. You can't say, I don't know this yet. Can you teach me? Could you show me? Would it be possible if you help me? And you know what? In 99% of all cases, people will understand. They will show you. They will teach you. They will understand because guess what? They have been at the exact same point in time where you are right now. Isn't that crazy how that works? It is. We are our own worst judge. And I think sometimes we need other people to tell us that yes, it's okay if you don't instantly get it. When I was in like the late end of schooling, like from 7th grade to 10th grade, we started having like more complicated math. And the particular math teacher we had at the time, my God, I did not understand their like math teaching style. I didn't have any problem with any like other subjects, but that math in particular, even though I was like good at math before, I didn't understand. But we did have like one person in our class who was sitting right next to me. And he was basically teaching me what the teacher was teaching in the class, but in like his own words. And I instantly understood it, okay? Because maybe sometimes you need a different like filter, a different person to tell you the exact same thing, but in a different way that is easier for your brain to process and understand. Because schooling systems and the world in a bigger extent is not really meant to fit all people at the same time, because that is impossible, because there's like so many different types of people, you know? And in like the perfect utopia world that sadly doesn't exist, right? Every single person would be taught in the way that they would understand it the best way. But that's not happening. So we have to find ways ourselves to get there. And last but not least, this whole thing obviously goes back to, for example, gender and trans stuff as well. If you think you might be a different gender than was assigned to you, but you like never allow yourself to explore these feelings, to like think about them, to maybe try something out, how will you ever find out? How you will not find out by asking some strangers on Reddit, am I trans? Am I trans enough? Think about these feelings, allow your feelings to explore, and see where it leads you. And even when you find out that you're one way or another, it still doesn't mean you have to act on it. For most people, it's recommended, okay? But you don't have to. It's still your own decision. Only you can decide what you want to do in your life, okay? There's many different paths ahead. There is no one way to exist. There's no one way to be trans. There's no one way to be a man, to be a woman, to be mighty bean traveling merchant that sells me cutie patootie lollipops during the night of the 2nd of April of 1972. That's very specific, I know, but like, you know. You get me? You get me? Okay, I think I've yapped on enough. Man, this is one of the longest talking videos I've ever did, but listen. This video of the Welsh gentleman carver that I watched yesterday resonated highly with me, and I still encourage you once again to go watch it. And please, in honor for the Welsh carver, post like that stone face emoji into the comments. Please do so. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye-bye!